Hello students, in my previous videos I have shown you the different borders and surfaces of the cerebral hemisphere, and particularly I have shown you the superlateral surface and inferior surface. Today I will show you another important surface of the hemisphere is the medial surface. You look at this hemisphere as the cerebellum. If I separate it to hemisphere by cutting the corpus callosum, which connects the two cerebral hemisphere, it will look like this. So this is one half, right half, this is left half. I will show you the structures on the medial surface of the cerebral hemisphere. Like that of the superlateral surface and inferior surface, on this surface also you will get so many sulci and gyri. This is cerebellum, this is midbrain, this is pons, this is medulla, and I will show you the structures on this surface as a whole. If I see, or if I start from this is thalamus. Can you see this one? The thalamus is a part of the diencephalon, and if I trace this fourth ventricle, this one, through the aqueduct of sylvius, it comes here, and from this upper end of this aqueduct of sylvius, if a line is drawn like this, can you see the line or a sulcus is there? That one, it goes up to this. There is a foramen called interventricular foramen. If I introduce this fossa into this foramen, it will reach into a cavity inside the hemisphere, and that cavity is a lateral ventricle. In this specimen you can see, if you introduce it, you can see this stick is going inside a cavity. That cavity is the lateral ventricle, that one. From this structure up to this, there is a septum. If you see this specimen, again here, this is the white matter, this one, and this is also white matter. This is corpus callosum, this one, and this is fornix. So in between the upper part of the body of the fornix and lower concave border of the body of the corpus callosum, these fibers or this septum is called septum pellucidum. This one, septum pellucidum. In this specimen, septum pellucidum is torn here, and through the septum pellucidum you can reach the lateral ventricle. But here septum pellucidum is intact, this one. And between the anterior end of the thalamus and the anterior column of fornix, this foramen is called the interventricular foramen of Monro. So if you are asked what is the boundary of interventricular foramen, your answer will be, it is in between the anterior column of fornix, this is the fornix, this one. So between the anterior column of fornix and the anterior end of thalamus is the interventricular foramen. Through this foramen, the lateral ventricle connects with the third ventricle. Third ventricle is here, in between the two thalamus, in between. And I also have shown you this line. This line or sulcus extends from the upper end of the aqueduct of sylvius up to the foramen of Monro. This is called hypothalamic sulcus. This hypothalamic sulcus divides the thalamus from the hypothalamus. So thalamus is dorsal, this one, and hypothalamus is ventral, and in between these two is the hypothalamic sulcus extending from the upper end of aqueduct of sylvius of the midbrain up to the interventricular foramen. So now we know thalamus, then interventricular foramen, then fornix, then septum pellucidum, it is a bilaminar fold, then corpus callosum. When you are asked to show the corpus callosum, immediately you will be asked what are the parts of the corpus callosum. The different parts from anterior to posterior, this is the rostrum, this one. Then there is bending. This bending is called genu. This genu, this term, general term, in many places we have seen this term genu, internal genu of facial nerve, external genu of facial nerve. So genu means knee joint. So genu means bending. Here this bending is called the genu of corpus callosum. Then the longest part is the body, and the posterior white part is the splenium. So to repeat, rostrum, genu, body and splenium. And the total length of the corpus callosum, it is about 10 centimeter. And if I trace this rostrum, it is going downwards here in contrast with the lamina terminalis. And in front of lamina terminalis, this area is called the paraterminal gyrus. This lamina terminalis, it goes up to the optic tract, and in front of the lamina terminalis is the paraterminal gyrus. Then come to this upper part or upper surface or convex surface of the corpus callosum. Above the corpus callosum here, you will get one grey matter called indusium gracium. This here, this indusium gracium in front through the genu, it comes to continuous with the paraterminal gyrus here, which is in front of the lamina terminalis. And posteriorly, this indusium gracium is continuous with the gyrus fasciolaris here. And above this indusium gracium, there is one sulcus. Can you see the big sulcus is here? That is called callosal sulcus. And above the callosal sulcus, you will get one gyrus, this one. This gyrus is a cingulate gyrus here. And it is continuous with the isthmus. This is the isthmus between the splenium of corpus callosum, and here it is the calcarine sulcus. So in between the calcarine sulcus and splenium, you will get the mass of the cortex or gyrus, that is called isthmus. And here is the deep to which you will get the parahippocampal gyrus. So isthmus is the connection between the cingulate gyrus and parahippocampal gyrus, between the calcarine sulcus behind and splenium of corpus callosum in front. Then come back to the again the upper part of the corpus callosum, callosal sulcus, then cingulate gyrus. Above the cingulate gyrus here, this is the cingulate sulcus, this one, cingulate sulcus. And this is the frontal lobe, and this is the parietal lobe here, and here is the occipital lobe. The occipital lobe, this one on medial surface, separated from the parietal lobe by the parieto-occipital sulcus, this one. And this sulcus, it joins with this sulcus. This is the calcarine sulcus, the anterior part, and this is posterior part of calcarine sulcus. So this calcarine sulcus and this parieto-occipital sulcus, it forms a triangular area here in between this posterior part of calcarine sulcus and the parieto-occipital sulcus. This part is called cuneus. But below this post-calcarine sulcus, this area is called lingual gyrus. It is tongue shaped to see, so this is called lingual gyrus, this one. So lingual gyrus, cuneus. In front of cuneus or in front of this parieto-occipital sulcus, this part is called precuneus here. And in front of precuneus, this part again divided into two parts. If I trace the sulcus above the cingulate gyrus is the cingulate sulcus. The cingulate sulcus, it goes upwards like this. So this upturned end of the cingulate sulcus, and here on this side there is the one sulcus is there, there is the central sulcus, this one. This sulcus reaches on the surface also, and the cingulate sulcus once again it is having another upturned end upwards up to this supremedial border. So one extension of sulcus up to this border and one extension posteriorly up to this. So in between these two sulcus here and here, this part is called paracentral lobule. Again it is having posterior part and anterior part by the extension of central sulcus from the lateral side to the medial side. So the posterior part, anterior part and posterior part, both part, they are continuous with the gyrus on the superlateral surface. The anterior part is continuous with the motor area, precentral gyrus, and posterior part it is continuous with the postcentral gyrus. So both pre and postcentral gyrus are in the paracentral lobule, and the main function of the lobule or paracentral lobule is to control the defecation and micturition and the movements of the lower part of the leg or lower part of the lower limb. And in front of this paracentral lobule, this larger part is called the medial frontal gyrus. This one, medial frontal gyrus, and here you will get the parolfactory area or parolfactory gyrus. So what are the main gyrus we have seen? Is a parolfactory gyrus, then medial frontal gyrus, then paracentral lobule, then precuneus, then cuneus, then lingual gyrus, cingulate gyrus, isthmus, parahippocampal gyrus. Then corpus callosum having 4 parts: septum pellucidum, fornix, thalamus, hypothalamus, hypothalamic sulcus, interventricular foramen of Monro, and here is the upper end of the aqueduct of Sylvius. And this is midbrain, this is pons, this is medulla. You know that part. So these are the all different sulci and gyri on the medial surface of the cerebral hemisphere. In next day or next video, I will show you what are the different functional areas of brain and what are the numbers of different functional areas. So that's all for the medial surface of the cerebral hemisphere.